Hi and welcome back. Today you will follow me around making a little bit of dinner. Today it's meatloaf and well, it's a perfect dinner when you are many and a typical brown sauce is also in the making. Here in Sweden, if you have meat and potatoes, kind of brown sauce is a rule. But yeah, I hope you will enjoy today's video about this important message about marriage. So happy to have you here and let's jump right into it. In the Bible, we can read about a three-scored thread that will not easily break. And you know, if your marriage contains that third thread, it will for sure stand against a lot of storms and trials. But what is that third thread? Is it money? Will your marriage get stronger if you're having financial freedom? No, it could sometimes help. For sure, but it's not a guarantee for a strong marriage. But is it maybe alone time or maybe good time management? Well, no, none of these things we could think about from a worldly perspective is the answer. So what is it then that makes that last part in a marriage, that makes it strong and not easily breakable? Well, I think maybe you have guessed it already, but it is God. A marriage that is braided together with God is a strong marriage that, if we are willing to work for, will not easily break. But I also want to go a bit deeper in this principle. What does it mean to have God added into your marriage? Well, it means that God is the center of your marriage and that you grow in faith together, not separately, but together with the Bible as the base. That you strive towards biblical principles when it comes to marriage in the ways of the roles of the husband and the wife, how to live maybe with children and, well, everything that is related to that area. In the selfish times we are living in today, many are believing that marriage are two different individuals that have to learn how to live together and still having the outposts for their personal needs and desires. But you know, marriage isn't about you. When you become husband and wife, you become one. Which means that the unit that you have together will have to come first, after God, of course. But you will have to put down selfishness to be able to nourish that marriage so that you both will be able to grow together, being more and more twined together. And of course, there are also some basic needs that you have to have, but the foundation is not you, it's the unit together with God. Well, if we, for example, take a look at the Bible, it is explaining it. And I want to start with love, or as the King James Bible states it, charity. And we can find it in 1 Corinthians 13, from verse 4 and down to verse 7. Charity suffereth long, and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. So, here we can see clearly what love is all about. And it has nothing to do with yourself, but it has everything to do with giving. And if you put all these points into practice in your marriage, how wonderful wouldn't it be? I think we can probably recognize our own behaviors sometimes in this. Maybe you have been easily provoked at times, and it started unnecessary arguments between you and your husband. Or maybe you have felt envy because you think your husband has lesser hard days than you, when you're home all days with your children and homemaking and so on. Maybe you behaved badly towards him when he came home because of that envying. Maybe nagging on him and wanting something for yourself instead, and by that starting a tense atmosphere in the home. But if you instead could truly practice charity, you could have avoided all those things, all those disputes. Well, I think you get my point here without taking more examples. But remembering these verses and be sure to write them in your heart is so important. And pray to God to help you act according to His word. To truly, with a happy heart, be able to practice charity. And another way to work on your marriage in a biblical way is to implement the biblical roles that God has for us as a husband and wife. The husband is supposed to love his wife like Christ has loved the church and has given himself for it. And as wives, we are supposed to submit to our husbands in everything. Not being the head of the marriage and family, but letting our husbands lead. And we do it with a soft, willing, and gentle heart. Even when it's hard and even when it's difficult, when we might want to lead, when our husbands maybe in our eyes is a bad leader, we have to follow. And when we apply this order that God has ordained, our marriages will be stronger, because then we are walking in it according to God's will. In every trial that your marriage is facing, make sure that God is included as that third strong and secure thread. It will not always be easy, but it is necessary and important. Nothing is guaranteed, but that hard work will eventually bring forth great fruit. And that fruit that your marriage is producing, that will also be a witness to your faith and to the God you serve. So even your marriage can be evangelizing out there in the world because of the harmony that you can have between you as a husband and wife. Me and my husband have experienced it, so I'm sure that you can experience that too, when you are including God in your marriage and walking in it according to His word and to His will. If you are interested in hearing more about these kind of subjects, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you who is listening and watching. And until next time, be blessed and see you soon again. Bye.